The family of John Bennet killed her. John Bennet Ramsey was an American child beauty queen with her supposedly normal family, the daughter of wealthy parents, Patsy and John Ramsey. She was just 6 years old when she was found dead in the basement of her house in Colorado on December 26 of 1996. It was found that she had a crack in her skull, a little more than 20 centimeters long, as a result of a strong blow and a rope around her neck, causing her death by strangulation. The way the family acted wasn't normal for a family that had just lost over their little girl and sister. The parents told the police that someone in the middle of the night, while everyone was asleep, kidnapped the girl. People know that the Ramsey family is responsible for the murder of John Bennet, since his brother was jealous of her and for these reasons he killed her. Besides, the parents tried to cover it up by telling a false story to the police. This case is one of so many unsolved cases that it has become so famous that conspiracies continue to this day. Her brother Brooke was an introvert guy, unlike his sister who was the center of everyone's attention, then creating a jealous emotion on him and killing her in a fit of anger while they were having a middle night snack. According to an old family friend of the Ramsays, tells that Brooke was easy to anger and has struck John Bennet with a golf club after getting mad, leaving her with a scar on her face. CBS Real Crime. This isn't a normal way to act for a 9-year-old child. It is obvious that this child needed professional help for his anger issues, and acting in a very furious way just makes you realize that he had the hatred accumulated with her sister. 2 weeks after the murder, Brooke told the investigators, "I feel safe and I didn't worry that an intruder would come back for me." CBS Real Crime. According to former FBI profiler Jim Clemente, these responses and feelings were very unusual for a child. Brooke's responses to questions in his investigative interview are very weird, and they don't show any feeling of a typical child of 9 years old. John Bennet's father is also responsible for the death of his daughter for the following actions. The forensic Linda Arden tells, the crime scenes had also been altered for upon discovering the body. What is very suspicious is how John carried her into the living room and then returned her to the basement floor sometime later. This completely contaminates the crime scenes. HOV Documentary 2020. Everyone knows that it is forbidden to affect a crime scene, and the father, even knowing this, committed this action and thus made it more difficult to find the alleged murderer. According to French's statements, I was surprised by the very different attitude that each of the parents had taken, especially the father, who was serene and calm, and very calmly told the policeman the sequence of what happened. HOV Documentary 2020. Analyzing this, you can only think that this is not how a father who has just lost his daughter should act. The evidence found at the scenes, the ransom note, make us believe that Patsy and John Ramsey were involved with their daughter's murder. Kim Archuleta, original 911 operator, she said, "To me was suspicious there were two voices in the room, maybe three." HOV Documentary 2020. While Patty was making the call, she said she was alone. Although that was not true, a man's voice was heard. This made us believe that they were planning all of this phone call and made it look like they were innocent. Jim Fitzgerald, forensic linguistic, said, "From a forensic perspective, this is uncharacteristic of any kind of kidnapping letter that I have ever seen. The 76% is strange." HOV Documentary 2020. The rescue note Patsy found on the staircase was not only handwritten and unusually lengthy, but it was also written on Patsy's notepad with her Sharpie. They planned everything. It is clear that when they saw their girl without breathing, they tried to cover everything so that the members of the family would come out innocent. The Ramsey family is guilty of the murder of John Bennet, since Brooke was envious of his sister and for these reasons he killed her. In addition, the parents tried to cover it up by telling the false arguments to the police, such as writing the letter left by the alleged killer, and affecting all the murder scenes. Burke was always jealous of her because of the attention she got. They didn't have a good relationship. That's why he hit his sister and ended up killing her. The mother and father are also involved as they covered up their son as the leader. The inconsistencies they said, undoing the evidence, and their bizarre behavior. It is clear that the family of John Bennet was involved in her death, already after seeing each of the arguments. The poor girl was brutally murdered after her brother injured her with the lamp, and then the family incubated it to defend their child. This is a clear example of a terrible family living that led to a major accident. That is why the whole family should be put in jail for what happened. Putting together and carefully analyzing all these facts, you can only come to the conclusion that this privileged family was not as it appeared, and that sadly they were the protagonists of the death of their daughter and sister.